followed through with the front, and this lovely colour. And it's a little gem, I think. It dates from the early 18th century. I mean, difficult to be too precise, but 1710 to 1720, that sort of period. In England, it would be Queen Anne stroke George I. But I don't think it's an English one. I don't think it's Irish, really. I think it's continental. It has this flow to it. If we say Dutch, it's that sort of area, that sort of feel to it. And they influence the rest of the Western world and later on America. And you see this type of double serpentine curve developing into a block front, if it were American, of the 1740s. So structurally, it's a very interesting thing. The way they've used this heavily curled veneer, this walnut with these burrs in, and divided it in two and opened it up like a butterfly's wing, so that it reflects both sides. Wonderful, and a lovely crusty colour, not over clean. These handles are new. They're about 1890 to 1900. Right. Whereas these are the original escutcheons. Okay. Now, they used exactly the same metalware in Holland as they did in England and in France at this time. So this is no indication of provenance, but those are certainly of the period of the chest, 1710 to 1720. And interestingly, you can see where...
The Great Frost of 1709 was the coldest European winter in 5 centuries. The Thames froze, the Seine froze, and across France and the Low Countries entire orchards of walnut trees died at the root. For the next decade, walnut veneer was a strategic commodity, and the Dutch cabinet makers who controlled the Rotterdam timber yards became the cabinet makers Europe came to. Pieces in this continental flow reached English ports as luxury imports through the 1720s.
A sock and junk chest. Well, why is that super? I suppose if it turned up today and you, or rather, let's put it the other way, if you lost it or it got damaged and you wanted to replace it, it would cost you £8,000 to £10,000.
The claw and ball foot is one of the oldest motifs in English furniture. Its lineage runs back through 17th century Dutch carving to the Chinese dragon clutching the pearl of wisdom, a Buddhist image that travelled west on porcelain and lacquerware in the early 1600s. By the 1750s, every fashionable cabinet maker in London had learned to carve one.
I'm sorry, I haven't even said hello. I'm just looking at the table. Is there a family history with this?
It was bought by my grandfather probably sometime in the 1920s or possibly 30s, and then passed to my father and thence to me.
See, in the 1920s when this was bought, this was the sort of furniture that everybody loved. You couldn't sell plain furniture. And this was the original carving that they tried to recreate on so many other plain pieces. And the difference is that a plain table, later carved, will have that shape, but the carving is within the outline. Here, you've got the shell stuck onto the...
The concertina-action on a card table is the sign of a top-tier workshop. Most card tables of this era used a single swinging gate leg to hold the rear leaf, a quicker, cheaper mechanism. The concertina folds the rails in on themselves, hidden when closed, so the table presents as a console against a wall and only reveals its double depth when opened. It's a furniture maker showing off.
Okay, so cool because it concertinas out. And then when you open it, like so, then you've got a centre table. You look at it from here, it's just as beautiful. I mean, what a table.
The top is original, is it?
Totally, totally. This has never been touched. But of course, it spent most of its life closed like that and against the wall looking very, very grand. One of the best bits of furniture I've seen for a long time. So this type, this period, 1755, 1760. George II, maybe early George III. And in today's market, a modest insurance valuation would be 15,000.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a modest valuation. Yeah. If it turned up in a very good or important sale, I don't know when.
This video is brought to you by Velqo, the antique identifier app. Snap a photo of any item and Velqo gives you an instant identification and a value estimate from its database of millions of antiques and collectibles. Available free on the App Store and Google Play. Now back to the appraisals.
Mr. Cutler's in Sproughton, that's near here.
Yes, that's right.
To be left at Mr. St. A, we don't know Mr. St. A, at the Golden Lion in Ipswich. Isn't that wonderful? Of course, any bit of information like that on the back of a piece of furniture in that lovely old writing adds tremendous interest. Lots of furniture was transported all over the country and left at different pubs for collection with the next coach or the next carriage. So we know that this one was intended for this part of the world anyway, which is lovely. And the other nice thing about it is, of course, its size. Bearing in mind this little chest was made around about 1690, 1700. To get one as small and compact as this in such lovely condition is really quite unusual. And you use it every day?
Yes, I do, yes.
Good. And it is your family?
It's on permanent loan from my boyfriend, because I've got more clothes than he has.
Well, that's pretty good. Let's have a look. Actually, I want to take one of... As you take the drawers out, and you'll see when you look inside, oak linings to the drawers. When you look at the back of the drawer front, it's pine. Soft, cheaper wood. They didn't need to use an expensive timber on the front, which was going to be covered with this wonderful veneer. Now, the veneer is laburnum, and you...
Oyster-veneer is sliced from the heart of a laburnum branch, cut across the grain so the concentric tree rings appear as overlapping ovals on the surface. The technique came to England with Daniel Marrow and the other Dutch craftsman Mary II brought across in 1689, and it stayed in fashion for less than a generation. By the 1720s, walnut had pushed it out of the workshops.
So that's no real detriment to a piece of this quality to have replacement feet. So, having said all that about it, have you or your boyfriend got it insured?
No, not separately.
Well, I think I should, because on the open market, this would cost you between £12,000 and £15,000.
I'm not sure I'll use it every day now.
You should.
Thomas Sheraton was an English cabinet maker who never set foot in Scotland. His pattern book, The Cabinet Maker, an Upholsterer's Drawing Book, was published in London between 1791 and 1794. It travelled north along with the building boom of Edinburgh's new town, where the city's cabinet makers worked from it like painters working from a master's portfolio.
Relate to Scotland by any chance?
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes. It was left to me by my grandmother. She died in 1947. But both families originally came from...
Edinburgh in the 1780s and 90s had a small concentration of master cabinet makers, Young and Trotter on Princes Street, William Trotter who succeeded the firm, and a handful of others. Their work is now mostly anonymous. The Edinburgh trade did not stamp pieces the way Gillow of Lancaster did. Attribution today rests on construction details and a small archive of surviving estate inventories.
At this period. And here again, they have used the most amazing choice of timber and laid it as veneer so that you get this mirror image. And then right in the middle, not knowing quite which way to go, they put it upright. Absolutely stunning. The colour is as good as you'll ever see, and just enough marks on it to show it's been used as a sideboard. That's what I like to see. If we just have a look inside, one of these, this drawer will do, and I don't really need to because it all looks so right, but those are the original handles. That's what a handle should look like inside. The little round nuts which hold the screw threads for the front of the handle, slightly sunken in, not totally flush, and wonderful quality throughout. Now, there is one thing about the sideboard which I don't know if you've ever noticed, but it's the mark of the most wonderful quality. When you look at it from the front, straight on, you see 4 square taper legs with a little spade foot.
Yes.
When you stand from the front and move to the side, you then see that the front leg is not a square, it's a diamond. And that is the most wonderful thing, because just imagine drawing that, let alone making it. It's the most complicated geometric thing to do. The man who made this was a master craftsman, and the man who designed it was a master. And I don't know if you have any valuation for insurance or replacement or anything like that. Well, if you wanted to replace this sideboard today from a good, and it would have to come through a good agent, dealer, a gallery, you'd have to pay round about £25,000 for it.
How much?
25,000.
Really? Good heavens.
It's as good a sideboard.
Robert Adam was a Scottish architect who travelled to Italy in 1754 and spent 3 years drawing the ruins of ancient Rome. In 1757 he came home with a portfolio of sketches and published one of the most influential architectural books of the century, a survey of Diocletian's palace at Split, on the Croatian coast. The applied patre carved into this table's frieze, those rosette ornaments, are part of the vocabulary he brought back.
I've had it forever, as long as I've been around, and as far as I know, it's been in the house in which I live, in which my family has lived for 200 odd years.
Right.
So that's all I know about it. It seems to me it's surprisingly high. Is that about the height?
It's typical of the period. It's a carving table, basically.
Right.
And you can see this.
Probate valuations are deliberately conservative. They price the object for a forced sale in a single afternoon, and that's why the family's table came in at £12,000 3 years ago. Insurance is the opposite calculation, what it would cost to replace at a specialist London dealer's gallery. The gap between those two figures is a feature, not a bug, and on a documented period piece it can be wide.
Well, it's a total surprise. I didn't know it existed.
It looks like it hasn't been open for a while. It's a bit dusty there, look. It's hardly ever been used, this. See, it's very clever.
Yeah. Good heavens.
But also, what I like about this, it's got a lot of sophistication about it, yet at the same time, I love this fluting here, this sort of copied from ancient Greece, this fluting. But then this, what's called an oval patra, this flower head here. But I can't see it on this one, but the one here, that's actually nailed on.
Good heavens.
Look, little
Oh,
nails.
yes, I see, yeah.
So whoever made this probably didn't make these. Somebody else made them. He bought them in and just stuck them on.
Yeah.
Interesting for what is a sophisticated piece of furniture.
That's not cheating? No. Well,
No, it's perfectly genuine piece. So we need to value it. It's Georgian furniture, I think most people know, has gone up in value recently. Have you had it valued in the last few years or anything? Has there been any valuation on it?
it was valued for probate when my aunt died, which is 3 years ago. And I think it was, they valued it at £12,000, which seemed to me an extraordinarily high figure, but I don't really know what I'm looking at. So that's what it was.
It does seem an awful lot of money, doesn't it, for what is essentially just a side table and a bit scratched.
Right.
Well, I think that today, for your insurance policy, you should insure it for £30,000.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next. And there are plenty more incredible appraisals waiting for you on the channel, go check them out.